Thank you. First frame. Round 8 break.
So then, the world number one, the runaway world number one, up against a player competing on home soil.
Yeah, I think a proud moment for Ryan Dabe, being the only Welshman in this very prestigious event. He'd love to do himself justice, but he couldn't have picked a much tougher opening round or opening match in this event than Mark Selby. Although he hasn't been at his best in the last 2 or 3 months. His last win was in December, UK Championship.
Such a formidable competitor, always. As for Ryan Day, the story is incredible. This time last week, he didn't know whether he was going to be here. In fact, he flew to Gibraltar with his place in this tournament still undecided. Had Joe Perry had a good run there, or indeed Mark Williams captured the title in Gibraltar, Day might have been vulnerable, but he put all of those worries to bed by reaching the semi-finals himself.
One part of your game that has to be strong when you're playing against Mark Selby is your long putting, because you're going to, the cue ball is going to be behind that baulk line so often, and more often than not, it's the only opportunity you have of getting the balls by putting a long shot. A long way off on that effort, Ryan Day, and his first opportunity to Mark Selby, and it's a good one. Normally a very fast starter.
Six. Seven.
Anthony Hamilton was talking about 14. The value of a quick start last night. Made 131 he did in the first frame against Stuart Bingham.
15.
Does two things: boosts your own confidence and puts doubt in the mind of your opponent.
$22. $23. $30.
Looks like he's going to have to go for the blue this time, unless he can just play a little cannon on one of these two reds to the right of the bunch. Yeah, so he's still
31.
nicely in the black. So I know it's very early on in this match, as you would expect from the world number one, the world champion. Looks very composed, striking the ball beautifully so far. You can tell when these players are striking the ball as they would like, because they're always in perfect position.
$39.
The last time we saw him on ITV, was at the World Grand Prix in Preston.
46.
Surprisingly, lost in the first round there, the last 32. 4-3 to Martin Gould, although there were mitigating circumstances. He was playing with a brand new tip. Wasn't used to it. And made some mistakes in that contest he wouldn't normally commit.
47.
But there's no such problems today.
Another lovely little cannon there. Left himself a choice of
54.
reds, left middle or left corner. He was handed this opportunity on a plate. He's
55.
taken full advantage so far. He'd be very surprised if he didn't win the frame from here. Took a
62.
small risk there going into the 3 reds. Didn't have to do it, but because there were so many open reds, almost impossible not to be on one. So every opportunity of starting this match with a very big break.
63. $69.
Well, that's the
70.
frame effectively sorted out. Now, the aforementioned Hamilton break of 131 is the highest so far. It's a £5,000 bonus for the tournament high break, and Selby most certainly could set a stern target here. As you can see, a
75.
possible 1-4-2 available.
$76.
He's not really concentrating on the high break because he would be playing for blacks. So I think he
82.
knows that even 1-4-2 would probably not be good enough. The standard of players in this tournament. Just concentrating on playing every
83.
single ball on the table. I think Phil Rindy knew he was up against a tough match today, but it's been confirmed in this first frame.
Yes, when Selby goes a few months, as you mentioned, Stephen, without a title, he becomes
90.
doubly hungry, and I think he came here as a man on a mission.
$91. Selby 91.
Well, that's a real shame. Ryan Day is going to concede, and so Selby is both on the mark and off the mark. He leads by a frame to nil.
Second frame. Mark Selby to break.
Quite simply for Mark Selby, he just wants more of the same. That was a really sharp start.
Yeah, the missed black would leave a slightly sour taste. He would like to have cleared up. But the important thing was winning that first round in one visit impressively as he did.
I think Neil made a very good point, though, before the match began, talking about Day's hectic schedule. I was at the Championship League last Wednesday and Thursday. As soon as he finished in the final there, losing to John Higgins for the title, he drove down to Gatwick with Barry Hawkins. They got 3 hours sleep, arrived in Gibraltar the following day, had about an hour to spare before his first match, and played all that day. Ended up at 20 past 11 local time before his final ball was potted. Then, of course, he was heavily involved on Sunday. Flew back yesterday, and then now he's here.
It's almost like working for a living, Phil, isn't it?
I think the key word there is almost. Now there's Anthony McGill, delighted with the start he's made. 1-0 up on Marco Fu over on table 2.
Good long pot from Ryan Day here. You can see here what he's leaving. Should have missed that pot, so there was pressure on that. Good cueing. And had a lovely angle in the black just to move that red away. So now when the black's respotted, this is a lovely chance.
8.
His only problem here is that he can't play for the black unless he plays this red that he's now going to look at. I don't think he'll play this one. That's the only red that offers position on the black. So this shot's a little bit awkward. But if you can just get good position, great opportunity. The red that's closest to the black, if he plays that, he's cannon in the red next to it, so you're never 100% guaranteed the path the cue ball's going to take. He's hoping to play topspin just to brush off it and go through the gap up for the blue. And he's misjudged it.
9.
Pink to right middle, so not only the pot is tricky, but also, again, the path of the cue ball. Trusting a bit to luck here. He's had some, but it's all bad.
Yes, when you pot a ball of that quality and of that risk, it's inevitable that if you don't drop on a red, you feel aggrieved. And that's what Day's feeling right now.
Yeah, I'd be really disappointed this break's ended so early after that great long red.
The referee from Bulgaria, Desislava Boshalova, just putting the pink closest to its own spot because the pink spot is actually occupied by a red. That's what's taking the time.
You can rest
15.
assured, Phil, I will not be naming her in this match. Well done.
Well, they call her Desi for short. He could use that.
Well, he's taking a bit of time over this shot. As you can see, the safety shot's not easy. There's reds everywhere. It's fortunately playing a very negative shot.
Ryan 15.
He was just frightened of leaving. If he played the cue ball to ball, he was just frightened of leaving Mark Selby a long ball to either corner pocket. No, that's as poor a safety shot as you'll ever see Mark Selby play. That was a shocker. What's this? Ryan Day, a choice of reds to either corner. It's amazing the amount of times that happens. A bad shot can give you an advantage. And similar to the first long red that Ryan Day potted, this one, you see there's pressure on it because he's leaving Mark Selby right in the balls, but because he's missed it to the right hand side of the pocket, he's left the cue ball near the cushion. So in fact, he's got away with that. Ryan must have thought when he first missed the pot, it could cost him the frame.
As we see him throughout the match, sitting in his chair, he's one of those players who's very demonstrative with his face, pulls all kinds of expressions. Well, two ineffective safeties from Selby in succession.
Yeah, but I'm struggling to see what colour Ryan Day is going to get from this red to the left middle. It's just pointing his cue to see if he plays with stun, if he can get the cue ball towards this right hand side of the table and maybe play for the black or back up for the blue. This is tough. It was a decent effort, that was. And the main thing is potted the red so he can play a pretty decent safety shot here.
For the last month or so, certainly after reaching the World Grand Prix final, Ryan Day had got his mind on being in this tournament. Now the next goal is to cement his place in the world's top 16 and be seeded to the Crucible. So a deep run here would be absolutely invaluable, especially because he didn't qualify for the forthcoming China Open. Lost out to Fraser Patrick. So I think we're going to see him play hard ball today. A victory in this match would be gold dust.
Good safety shot that was. Ryan Day made sure he got that cue ball glued to the baulk cushion.
Well, again, another safety from Selby is misplayed. Not a good sign. When you get opportunities against Mr. Selby, you have to take them, and that was a golden opportunity.
One. Six. Seven.
So again, like the first frame, he's been gifted this opportunity, Mark Selby. You certainly say he hasn't had to work for it. He played a very poor safety shot.
Potting the right-hand red of the two here
14.
together will free up the other one.
$15.
And the one overriding law of break building is always give yourself as many options as possible.
Well, you'll have to look at the position of the reds. He has to do virtually nothing with the cue ball, just keep potting.
22.
And where the cue ball is now, he's on about 4 reds.
23.
So, a very comfortable chance to win this second frame. It's only really concentration, or lack of it, that's going to cause a slip up here.
$30. 31. $38. 39.
The burst of applause you heard a moment or so ago was for
46.
Marco Fu, who's equalised. It's Fu 1, McGill 1.
$47.
Well, Stephen, we can't see Ryan Day equalising. 2-0
52.
writ large.
May have to follow this through off 2 cushions for the black. Now he's going to come back for the blue. He's just a slightly awkward angle left himself there.
53.
But yeah, it's looking like 2-0. And as I say, he hasn't had to work for the 2 opportunities. Mark Selby's been gifted them. For once, his safety has been very poor.
58.
But it hasn't cost him.
59. 66.
So this is frame ball.
'67. 74. 75.
Not the best of contacts, that.
Yeah, just trying to play a little half ball contact on the red. Well, we got that shot wrong.
Mark Selby 75 and 3.
But Mark Selby with a break of 75 added to the 91 with which he won the first frame is dominating the early exchanges. He leads Ryan